I love American Amicable. I can't say enough about it. But anyway, my name, for those of you that are new on the call, my name is Eric Farron, direct to Sarah Bailey, Griff Martin, Edward Pritchett hierarchy. It's very, very thankful to be so. Symmetry's changed my life. I've been here going on 3 years. And I wouldn't change any of it. I was in the financial industry before, working 70, 80 hours a week. And, you know, I thought I was living the American dream, didn't have any time for family. You know, I was making a good income, over 100,000. But my son asked me how come I didn't come to any of his football games. Ouch. You know, and how come I wasn't one of the coaches? And so we put everything out there in, you know, hiring world. Sarah gave me a call. I spent 3 months at Symmetry working about 80 to 90 hours a week because I knew in the future what it was going to do. After 3 months, went to my first conference, listened to John Hancock, came home. My wife was with me and she said, you can go fire your boss. So we fired my boss and it was doubled my income. Haven't looked back ever since. Love everything about Symmetry. All right. So enough about me. What I want to do is just dive into it. American Amicable, when I first came on board, that was like my go-to. And I didn't know much about it. You know, I watched some videos. I, you know, went to the sites, didn't know a lot about it. And then I started thinking, well, I've got all these other carriers. Why can't I write with some of the other carriers if I need to? So my mistake is in the beginning, I started learning about all these other carriers. And my mind was just going crazy. I couldn't figure out, okay, what was home certainty here and term life express over here. You know, I couldn't understand the different terminology for the products. If everybody could mute their line, there you go, thank you. I couldn't understand, you know, the terminology in the products, let alone what each product did. And so Griff pointed out to me, focus on one particular product, one particular carrier, and then it'll be easier. So I did that and focused on American Amicable, learned all about them. During that time, I started writing Mutual of Omaha, and my sales were kind of going up and down, and I liked Mutual of Omaha. I went to a conference and I sat with Joe, VP of American Amicable, for a few hours. I had met him a couple times here in Salt Lake at some different conferences. Year's trip. And I was like, maybe, I think it was about $15,000 away. But I started writing Mutual of Omaha. So he sat me down, talked to me about why I should be writing American Amicable. And it changed me completely. Not just like on what the product is, but what it does for clients and the claim processes and the things that they have in place. And, you know, the simplicity, and also working with American Amicable are probably one of the better ones that you can call up and get easy risk assessments. You can call up, everybody's usually pretty nice to you. And if you really needed to, you could actually call up and talk to Joe himself or visit their campus there in Waco, and you can take a tour of the building, which a lot of carriers don't want you to do things like that. And not to tear down any of the carriers, they're pretty awesome too. What I want to do is I'm going to share my screen here. And for those of you who are new on the call, Joe and I, we have teamextremebase.com. That's the name of our team. It's Team Extreme. And the base.com, let me just scroll back up here. I'm just going to go through it really quick. The first page has our core values, keys to successful week, 90-day man cycle, and then Agent Hub. Everything in here, all the different links that you absolutely need to utilize as an agent to, you know, go, whether it's going to be Zoom calls, Symmetry University, or even the agent onboarding portal. You can scroll down and look at the rest later. But if I click on carrier contacts, you know, as a new agent, how do I even know how to contact American Amicable? Where do I go to even log into American Amicable? I can go on sfglife.com and download all that information and download all the agent guides, but sometimes that can be complicated. Well, to simplify it, here's all their contact information. And then if I click on American Amicable Agent Login, it takes me right to their site. Log in really quick here. And I'm just going to go over like a brief overview of American Amicable site. You know, they have some things over here that you can click on and look at bonus bucks. They give you bonuses every single month based off of your production. You know, if you hit, I believe it's $5,000 in production, they send you 25 bucks. If you hit 10,000, what is it, $8,000, they send you 75 bucks. If it's $10,000, it's $100, and if it's $15,000, it's $300. So they send you bonuses every single month, which I absolutely love. Through here, these are all the different areas that you really want to pay attention to and start looking into. Let's see, if I order supplies, American Amicable does not charge you for anything, any one of their supplies. They won't charge you for their business cards. If you want to order business cards through American Amicable, you can get them. It'll just have American Amicable's logos on it, your information. You know, if you decide to write American Amicable a lot in the future, that could be pretty helpful, but they're free. They'll send you, I think it's like 3,000 business cards for no cost. In here is their, let's see, I'm just going to pull up home certainty because we'll focus on that tonight. And in there, if I need to, if I'm a new agent and I haven't gotten, well, I pipeline, but if I haven't gotten any contracting or anything like that, I need to print off an application, or if I have contracting and I need to print an application, do a paper app, I'm in a rural area that doesn't have internet, or I'm on a Zoom that somebody doesn't have, or on a telephone call and they don't have internet access and I need to mail it to them or send it to them or drive it out to them, then I can print off any of their paper applications. Or if I want to, and this will bring you through all the general paper application if you need to, if I want to order it, I just simply say, you know what, I want to have probably like 50 of them on hand. If I want to take any of the brochures, you know, I want to learn, maybe I want to have about 50 of those. And any of the agent guides, man, I just want 2 of those for my house. Home certainty applications, any of the product materials, brochures in Spanish. I can come in here and click on the orders, go into continue. I can place this order and it's going to automatically send it to me for no cost. I can order up to 500 of them if I wanted to. American Amicable is never going to charge you for anything that you order and that you send to them. Brochures, catalogs, applications, it's all right there for us, which I love. Some of the other carriers, they charge you. Oh, Mutual of Omaha, if you wanted any of their business cards, it has a cost to it. If you want them to send you information, any of their paper applications or any catalogs, I believe it's 5 cents a brochure. So American Amicable is one of the ones that doesn't charge you for any of their products that you want sent to you in the home. And I like that simply because I can scan it, send it over to the client if I need to. I can also view and print them and download them and send them over if I'm doing Zoom sessions. Everything's all accessible right there. And if you guys have any questions, type them in the chat at the bottom and we'll just fill them as we go. I'm sure Joe and Sarah can type those in as we go. Okay. Let's see here. Illustrations. So I like going into the illustrations here on the home certainty page because I can get 3 of them all at once. I can get 3 options all at once. They're pretty easy. You can put in your agent name. Client name, let's just say Joe. Birth date, January 1st. Let's do, Joe's old. Joe's like in his 70s, man. Let's see. No, I'm just kidding. Let's do 1974. We'll put him at 46, I believe. And male, no chewing tobacco. He's in here in Utah. And 20, 30 years, whatever we want. Monthly coverage amount, let's just say it's 300,000 here. 150,000 there. And let's say 50,000. I can select on one, and I'll cover these here in a minute on the critical illnesses, why they have a charge to them, why they're 25%, 50%, and 100%. I can also add accidental. I wouldn't recommend adding accidental on a policy. You'd probably be better doing it on a separate individual policy like Mutual of Omaha and their general accidental death policy. Waiver of premium, which I love with American Amicable. Uh, they do a 75% return versus 100% or an 80%. But I'm going to break it down and tell you why they do a 75% and the reason why it would be a little bit more beneficial to do a 75% return versus an 80 or 100% with some of the other carriers. Spouse level term riders I can put on there. Children's insurance, total disability. That would be $1,500 a month for. Let's see, wrong place, for their monthly payments on their mortgage. And let's see, hit continue. If something's an error as doing a quote, which I love about American Amicable, they're going to pop up down here and tell you, hey, total disability benefit average must be at $500 and cannot exceed the lesser of 2% of the coverage amount of $1,500. The maximum disability benefit for coverage is 3 to option 3 is 1,000. So it's going to tell me exactly where my area is. So I can't put $1,500 on 50,000 simply because it doesn't meet the 2% parameter. So I'm going to just leave that one out if just for now. Click on it. It downloads this in a PDF so I could send it to my client if I wanted to, or I could have it printed up when I go into the in-home. And it's going to have everything professionally done for me. It's going to have the day that we're doing it, his name, non-tobacco, everything that I typed in, everything that we're looking for is right there. It's even going to give me an amortization on their premiums for the year. And it's going to break down and tell me everything that's included in the policy: home certainty, terminal illness, accidental death, total disability benefit, chronic illness, accelerated death benefit, and what it covers in each individual one. So as I'm doing, some of the other carriers, they'll just give you the quote, but they're not telling you everything that comes in the policy unless you do a huge illustration, which I love American Amicable because they're breaking it down, everything that's in it, and you can show that directly on the screen with your clients. Then all I need to do is scroll down, and here's my 20-year for 150,000. Has everything in it there. Okay, so let's go back into downloads, business cards, underwriting, all that you can click on. Underwriting, it gives you basically, let's just go in there really quick. Agent, e-file, pending requirements, exam ordering, applications. It gives you kind of a general synopsis of what's required for underwriting. There again, you're going to go back. If you want to find the agent guides, you're going to go into ordering your supplies. All right. Mobile business tools. I'll go in there before I go into the agent e-file. Mobile business tools. They have quite a few different things. You can do a simple phone quoter. You can upload a paper application right here, and it's still considered an electronic app. So when you're uploading it into Opt, instead of doing a paper app, you can say you scanned it, you uploaded it to American Amicable, and now it's an electronic app. So you don't have to wait for the process. Doc drop, if they have anything like any kind of requirements, well, you have to fill out this form. I want to know about this medication. Then I can just simply put the policy number on it, doc drop it, it goes right to the underwriting department, it gets attached to my policy a lot faster. I don't have to fax anything in. I don't have to email it to directly. I can just do a doc drop, but the policy number gets attached to it. And then my policy usually gets approved within 24 hours of any requirements that are doc dropped. Let's see here, mobile applications. You know what, I'm gonna pause right here really quick. And was there any, I can't see if there's any questions that have been coming in here.
I haven't seen any questions, but we are answering them in real time.
Oh, you are? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, so mobile app, it's going to require you to sign in again. And you have a list of all the applicants that you've taken for the last couple of weeks. You can print those off, download the PDFs. You go into the new application, American Amicable. Let's do home certainty. Utah, and submit. You can continue with underwriting decision. That's their instant approval. If you have somebody that's healthy, that doesn't have medications, then it'll get instantly approved right then. And then you'll get an email with a deposit into your bank the next day, which I love. Who doesn't? You know, everybody wants to get paid pretty quick. Continuing without underwriting decision, that you're saying, well, my client's going to qualify, but I know they have this kind of medication, this, and then I'm going to continue it without the instant approval. And I'm going to send it into underwriting for them to review. Their application, Paula, is really quick and simple and easy. It's only 3 pages. It's just a download scroll. There's no signing the HIPAA agreement. It's just one signature at the very end of the application. But it's the same thing as you would put on the illustration. You put in their name, phone number, birth date, gender, you know, if they've been smoking, tobacco. Cigar use is actually accepted, that they won't even get a smoking premium. It'll just be a regular premium. Tobacco and chewing tobacco and smoking is just a smoker's premium. But if it's just cigar, then there's no, it's just a general benefit. A general premium. All right. Okay. Then you go into the next page. I'm not going to fill out everything. You can explore it. You can fill out your own application, go all the way through the process. They have their medical questions are usually only about 10 different questions. And then you've got your banking information, their home information, their social, just like any other application. But it's really simple. You don't have to know their father and their mom's age, or if they've died, or if they're alive, or you don't have to have a lot of extensive history. They're simple writing, simplified issued, which is just a general medical NMIB report and no medical exams. Okay. All right, so I'm actually going to go back into here and go into the Agent E-file. And I'm going to pull this up because a lot of us, you know, sometimes don't know how to navigate and find, you know, well, how do I get paid? What's going to look like for the year? Is there any correspondence from the home office, from them? Do they need anything? All of that. If you're a key leader or an agency owner, you go into your index and you can see all of the agents that you have that are licensed with that particular carrier. But if I want to see, hey, you know, Nisa, she just told me that she wrote a couple applications. Okay. So now I click on her number there and it pulls up everything just as if she logged in and she would have saw it herself. That way I can help her. I can say, okay, let's see, I want to look at, she wrote a couple applications, you know, all correspondence within the last 30 days. Is there anything that she needs? Looks like right here, they sent her, she needs an endorsement right there. She needs requested the owner's signature. And so I can click on them and it's going to tell me exactly why she needs an endorsement. And so I can call her and say, hey, Nisa, they sent you an endorsement, meaning like they're saying they're going to approve it, but these are the new parameters. So I don't have to call underwriting and find out what they've approved it for. I don't have to do a new illustration and figure out what the new premium is. They're going to send everything to me and tell me what they're going to get approved for, what the new monthly premium is. And the awesome thing about it is it's an online screen signature. So I can, or send it to my client. So I could be in the home, click online signature, they can sign my tablet and send it away and it gets approved and issued the next day. Or I can send it an email to them, they sign it and then send it into underwriting. Really simple, real easy to do. Okay, so let's go back here. Other things, let's say they need, let's go into Taylor Melody, and it's going to tell me everything they need. Additional testing required, removed, please provide complete details. So now I can call Taylor and say, I can call Nisa and say, hey, I was just reviewing for Wednesday, what are all the requirements and getting all these policies approved. This is what we need to work on. So you can be on the same page together. If I'm doing it my individual, then I can come into it, my own individual one, and look at all of my correspondence and look at all of what's going on there. Uh, let's see, advance agent statements. Pulls it up and tells me, say, what I'm getting paid, every time that something goes in, it's going to tell me. So let's just pull up, I don't know, 731 here. So that was an override there. So you can calculate your overrides. And let's see, let's pull up this one there. Oh, that's the end of the year commission statements. Let's pull up one that, let's do maybe, I don't know. It doesn't matter. We'll just pull up one and I'll look at it. Okay. So this one also another override from a different agent, but it's going to tell you exactly, who's there, what was the client's name, what was the percentage differences, what your advance is, what it's going to pay out to you. Okay, if you want to learn, well, what do I need to do for what's going to, they talk to us about getting paid on months 9, 10, 11, and 12. How do I figure that out? How do I know when I'm going to get paid? Well, American Amicable does a couple of things that I absolutely love. So if I go into my commission statement here, I can pull it down and I can look at, well, these are all the guys that I put on, applications for last year. We're coming up on 8, 9, 10, and 11. And American Amicable, they don't pay as you go based off of 9, 10, and 11 months. Like some carriers will pay you $50 here, $10 there, $20 here, based off of how they're paying. American Amicable takes that one client and says, okay, they've paid for 9 months, right? Now we're gonna pay you for the rest, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and they're gonna pay you it all up front. So right here on this star, this tells me how much I'm gonna get paid on 7/31 from last year, from 9 months ago from when I first wrote a policy. So without getting up out of bed, this is what I made just that morning from policies from last year. So everybody asks, is it worth it? Some agents, they leave or quit before they get to this point, before they get their back end pay. Don't quit. Keep going. Get to your back end pay because it's worth it, especially with American Amicable. Okay. All right. So I know Joe's he's going to go into some of the IULs and take the next 30 minutes, but I want to talk a little bit about home certainty. Let me see if I can, well, I'm not going to pull up any of the aging guides or anything like that. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. So there's a couple of things about home certainty that I absolutely love. I'm going to give you the reasons why I switched over from Mutual of Omaha to home certainty. Now, we know living benefits at Mutual of Omaha, they don't have a cost, right? They don't. And so that was one of my main reasons is switching over to Mutual of Omaha. And I told Joe, I said, hey, Joe, it's cheaper. And, they have these living benefits included into it. He smiled and he sat me down. And at that point I was new, and that's what I was looking at. It's cheaper for the client. These benefits are included. But what I didn't realize on the back end, what it would do to a client on a claim basis. So American Amicable, without going into what Mutual of Omaha does, what American Amicable does, well, maybe I might touch it a little bit so you guys know. American Amicable on their 25, 75, 50, and 100%, they have a cost to it. So it costs a little bit more. So if I put in their 25% on their critical, which is heart attack, stroke, cancer, dismemberments, well, if I go to the doctor and I get cancer and I put 25% on my policy, guess what? I just send in a claim and they just send me a check. There's no underwriting. I mean, there's no 2-year look back. There's no prorating. There's nothing of that. There's no saying, hey, he's going to be in the doctor for this long. They've charged this. We're going to prorate it for this. And then maybe you might not even qualify because we're going to do a 2-year extensive or a 10-year extensive medical history and see if there was any existing conditions or anything like that. And I thought, Oh my gosh. So if they're paying an extra $25 a month for 25% on 100,000, they're going to get $25,000 without having to go through anything. Yep. Joe says you fill out a claim, you send it in, we send them a check. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And that's exactly what happened with Sarah Bailey. Sarah Bailey came down with breast cancer and had an American Amicable policy, sent in a claim, got paid the next day. It was amazing. That's one of the reasons, the hugest benefits why I love going through American Amicable is simply because that. Now, if we move on to what we call graded, so from getting a level benefit to a graded benefit. So level benefit just basically means that it's immediate benefit. If they die, they get their full face value, 200,000, right? We always hear about graded. Okay, so UHL, they're going to grade them all the way out to table 16, or they're going to grade them all the way to table 2 or 3 or table 4, right? Well, American Amicable has a grading system, but if they get graded within the first year, they're going to pay out 30% of the policy if they die. Within the second year, they're going to pay out 50% of the policy if they die. And within the third year, they're going to pay out 100% of the policy if they die. Now, if we compare that with some of the other carriers, that doesn't happen. They have a basic 2-year waiting period on a grading, right? So looking at American Amicable, does it cost a little bit more? Yeah, it can cost a little bit more, absolutely. But is it worth it? Now, here's the last golden nugget, and I'm going to turn everything over to Joe. So on their disability, like making the monthly payments on their policy, like on their home. Let's say I have somebody that's making $1,500 a month on their home, and they sign up for the disability rider. Now, some of the other carriers say, well, let's take a doctor, for example. If a doctor hurt, they get in a car. Well, have you guys ever seen Doctor Strange, the movie? He's a doctor, and he gets in a car accident, and his hands are all destroyed, and he can't be a doctor anymore. But he could be a teacher. He could be all these other things, right? So some of the other carriers on their disability, if that happens and they say, well, we're only going to pay this much because now he can go be a teacher, or he can go be an auto repairman, or he can sit at home and do this other one. American Amicable is one of the only carriers nationwide that says he can't perform his job. We're going to pay him his disability, whether he can work another job or not. That's some of the basic, huge reasons why I love American Amicable. Now, doing their death benefit, they're still going to, if you die within that 2-year period, they're still going to do a medical check. But after that 2-year period, they're going to pay out the policy. So I hope that answered a lot of questions, took us through American Amicable and the tour and some of the things that they have, benefits that some of the other carriers don't have. I decided to focus on American Amicable. I won the trip to Athens, Greece last year. Unfortunately, they canceled it, but they did send me an $8,000 check to say thanks for writing everything with American Amicable. So with all that, guys, I'm going to turn the time over to Joe. I appreciate you guys for giving me the opportunity to talk about American Amicable and to have everybody on the call with us tonight. And Joe's my running buddy. Love Joe. We work together side by side. He's been teaching me a lot. He's grown together. So I appreciate him giving me the time tonight. But go ahead, Joe. Thanks for everything.
Thanks, Eric. That was really nice of you. Definitely learned a couple of things today. Oh my goodness. The business cards, cigar pop. If you guys weren't taking notes, you guys not doing yourself justice. And also the disability part, that was amazing. Thank you for sharing that. My presentation is more of something new I'd learned from American Amicable, and the reason why I decided to focus on them was because of a business building mindset. I've learned that, and there's just a couple of things of why I choose American Amicable, why I'm learning them now. I used to write NLG all the time. You can ask my upline, Eric Fabula. He was telling me, why do you always, because they take forever to pay, and sometimes it makes your business up and down. But for me, that was just what I wrote. Now I'm have to become as a symmetry broker, you grow. I think value is very important. And American Amicable, for a business part, gives you all the value. I'll give you 2 reasons why. With other like Mutual Omaha, you build in a business, you have an agent write an app on themselves. That's great and dandy, but what if, the agent leaves? All that chargeback comes back to you within 1 year and 1 month. American Amicable takes about 12 months. So your overrides will take care of that instead of having that fall on you right away when you first start building. The second part I love about, just like Eric said earlier, I wrote 1 app with American Amicable last year for my uncle. And when I got a $250, I guess 10, 11, 12 month, all paid 1 month, that threw me like, what the hell? I'm used like $50, $60 every month, but not $200, $300 at one. I only wrote 1 app last year. So that to me struck me as they want to help you build. So American Amicable does it right. And I met Joe, and that's why I decided to learn this product a little more today. So I'm going to go over the Express UL with American Amicable. I got to pop in here a little bit, and when you hit this button here, it pops this little screen here. Sorry, right here. It kind of gives you a little cheat sheet of Express UL. And I usually write IULs all the time. I like IULs, but when it comes to a guaranteed product that's going to guarantee you 2%, no matter what, versus another IUL, they give you a guaranteed of maybe 0.25%. Express UL, I like also that at year 70, it turns that policy into an automatic retirement. And I'll explain it in a moment. What I just discovered also, this part right here, it's a simplified issue. And you can go all the way to $500,000. So versus other, ULs, like example, after getting close to over $150,000 or $200,000 face amount, a lot of times it's an underwriting that's going to get involved with a full medical. So this is definitely a great UL that's going to get a simplified issue really fast. All these riders are included as well. Just like Eric talked about earlier, those riders, the disability, income, the accident-only disability is included. And there's also the no-cost terminal illness and confined care. So when you go to the illustration part, this is the part that I get confused a lot. And if you guys haven't tried writing apps, definitely give it your uplines, and definitely start. I do always recommend focus on mortgage protection, but you will have clients that are going to ask you, is that just a term? I don't get all my money back, or things like I want something that I can use for retirement. So when you hear things like that, I definitely like this product for that. So I'm gonna start a product here for a 40-year-old man. His name is John Day. And John Day came to us and said, I have a $200,000 mortgage, Joe, and I don't have no retirement. I'm like, okay. And my job, they don't offer them, or it could be a self-employed person as well. So there's definitely, you can do target premium. So the first thing first, what are the difference between these 2 parts right here? Level and increasing. Level means that whatever the coverage amount is, if they die tomorrow, that's how much they get paid. Increasing means that as their cash accumulation grows, if they die in 10 years, whatever cash accumulation has grown is paid with the policy. It's tax-free too. And I talk about tax-free all the time because I know that if you leave money in the bank and the client inherits over $600,000, there's a death tax. Well, the life insurance, there's not. So I'm going to put monthly right here. I like this part right here because you can play around. Suppose the client say, hey, I want $100,000, at a certain amount, at what age? It's going to be able to tweak the premium for you, okay? I'm going to make it simple for all of us. I'm going to max fund it. So this is telling me that the maximum amount for this policy, without being I'm sorry, I didn't fill that out, without being taxed by the government or having an MEC, which is something that I'm not going to talk about today, but definitely get with your upline about that. Okay. So this premium here is $497. And if you want a target premium, that's a lot of money. I can go with target premium. Okay. And then we can tell them is you can definitely do the target premium here. And then every year you can dump additional funds to hit the maximum funding. Okay, that's a question I'll answer in a moment. I quite don't know that answer here. Let me finish this, but good question. So you can pay $142, and the difference is like $300 a month. You can dump that each year and still get the cash growth on it, okay? But what I'm gonna do, this gentleman said, you know what? The max premium is perfect, Joe. I don't have retirement. $497 sounds good. So from here, you can add, whatever premium, you can add all these different things. But for time's sake, I'm going to go ahead and just pull a illustration. Let me see if y'all see my screen. Okay, here's the illustration. Okay, this illustration, it's a max funding UL with the Express UL. As you can see, it does have all these benefits included, okay? And it's adjustable as well. So if 497 becomes troublesome, you can adjust the premium, okay? But this guy wants to do this for retirement. The best part about it is that there's guarantees. The lowest guarantee is 2%. So if you put it in savings, he's getting a quarter. Here's a guaranteed 2%, no matter the stocks are negative, no matter what. So he's protecting his money, okay? At year 70, he's retired. So when he retires, his house is paid off, and now he has $184,000 there, guaranteed, no matter what. So that right there, to me, it's amazing because no matter what, I like to talk about guaranteed. Like with debt-free life, that works because of guarantees. This works because of the guaranteed as well. So the next part is I'm going down here, and it's going to give you the yearly breakdown on the cash accumulation. This part right here struck me really nice. So you know that at year 70 or in 30 years, the house is paid off, you can stop making payments, and you have a guaranteed $992 coming every month for the rest of your life. That to me is pretty awesome. That's a great retirement plan there. Now his money, he's using it more than once. And this is the part where, as a broker, you can start, once you get to advanced mortgage protection is always our bread and butter. But after I have a client for life, I ask questions like, hey, on my card, it says that I do mortgage protection, life insurance, debt-free life, and retirement. So I paint a picture, I plant some seeds here. So when I show this illustration to the client, I already have an annuity with me as well. So I show them that right there is pretty awesome. I like that. I'd probably keep that. But you never know in the future. I would probably keep that personally. But you'll never know. What if you wanted to cash that money out and grow your money? The next plan is I'll take this amount, the $184,000, and I'm going to show them what an annuity can do. And this is just, I'm doing it as a person 70 now. And all I'm doing today is painting a picture, planting seeds, let them know I'm not just your broker for one time, I'm your broker for life. When I do this type of things, I've noticed that the clients, they trust me more. They say, no, I'm not going to be here one time only. They know I did my research and I'd spend some time on them. And I let clients know that, Symmetry brokers are not like other agents. We're brokers. We're brokers for life, and we care. It's in our core values. Relationships matter. People come first. It's really, really what we talk about. I'll give you an example of that. Today, Sarah and I, we had a client. Her son's father passed away 2 months ago. And they were divorced, and the son is hoping to get that money, but since he's a minor, he can't access that money. I didn't know what to do, so Sarah and I went to the courthouse this morning for her and talked to our lawyers that we know, and found a solution for her. Everyone in the courthouse wouldn't help us, kind of like just kind of COVID. Okay, fill this paper out, and then somebody get with you in a couple of weeks. We went downtown and figured it out for her. And with that, it made us, we learned what guardianship means. There's not a trust. So now we learned something else to share in the homes, using the Ever plans for trust, or putting a trust in there, or having all those situations knocked out using the Ever plan. So with this plan here, I'm sorry, I'm going on my soapbox, right, Eric Barron? Oh my goodness. I like to show them guarantees. So right here, that 184, they can roll it over to annuity on this F&G annuity, and right away, they're going to be getting 10,000, 11,000 guaranteed no matter what is coming to their account. So they can definitely start with that other one and get 986, or they can roll it over here and create a annuity that also becomes a long-term care, I like to say. And what do you mean about long-term care? If you're not sure about annuities, definitely give it your uplines, guys. I'll just give you some why I like this product, and our upline definitely stress how important this can do for you. This enhanced guaranteed rider. So as you get older, I'm painting a picture. So if I'm here in 30 years, Mr. John, you're going to look me up. If I'm not here, call the agency. My son will probably be there. And just show him this illustration, and he'll probably know what to do. But right here, that money you invested, protect your home. Now you have a retirement plan. That's not going to only give you a retirement plan, but also long-term care and leaving a death benefit for the family. So it's amazing. What is the enhanced benefit? I'll pop over here. It's pretty much right here. It's telling you that if you're going to go to, in simple terms, if you can't feed yourself, dress yourself, you can control your bowel movements, and you're in a nursing home, you can draw from that plan double the monthly amount or annual amount. It's called doubles, automatic. So that's to me, it's like a long-term care, life insurance, retirement, all in one plan. So I always compare. I do like the American Amicable, keep it there, but that scenario can be used with any IUL, ULs, but I like to use the American Amicable because it's guaranteed. You can use the IULs from different strategies, but it's a non-guaranteed cash accumulation. So that's really important. When a lot of my clients want to hear guaranteed, I have my 401ks. I've lost half of it because of coronavirus. I want guarantees. We have guarantees now. And the best part about this is that this product is guaranteed as well. Okay. But we both know that, I do tell my client, even though it says that, I do want to say this. If you died in 20 years, you're still leaving what you started with for your family. So if you died in 20 years, you're leaving a death benefit for your family still. And that's pretty much what a UL can do using a retirement focus. I hope that gave everybody some ideas or some way to present. I definitely, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I'm here just to give you what I do and give you some nuggets. Does anybody have any questions about that?
That was awesome, Joe. I loved how you started with the IUL max funded. It has 184,000 by the time he's 70, and now we can still roll it over into an annuity and even make more money for him in retirement, or leave for his family. Now you're setting up to where you are a lifelong agent and not just a flyby agent. That's perfect. Good job. I love that.
Thank you. On the question that Matt had, on that American Amicable, I'll call and find out. So that's a good question. I'm going to find out. I just wrote one policy with American Amicable in 1 year, and this is a new carrier for me, and I'm throwing myself into it to learn it as much as I can. And when
their IUL is fairly new, so I haven't written one of them, so I'll find out as well.
Does anybody new or anybody else on the team want to talk about any questions y'all might have, concerns?
Really quick before any questions, though, I forgot to, I said I was going to talk about their return of premium with the home certainty and why it's beneficial to do the home premium versus other carriers. Home certainty only does a 75% return of premium. Other carriers say, well, we'll do 80% or we'll do 100%. But really look at the illustrations, because most carriers won't start the return of premium until they're either 8 years, 10 years, or even some carriers 15 years into the policy, right? If it's a 30-year term or a 20-year term, it's usually going to be about 50% of the time in 50%. So if you have a 10-year period, it won't start for 5 years. You know, but what American Amicable does on their 75% and the return of premium, it starts funding it at 2 years, first 2 years. Yep. Anyway.
Thank you for that.
There you go, guys. Any questions? Go ahead.